Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it will be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! My Grams, God bless his crusty soul, used to own a popular surplus store in the small city I grew up in. That city is quite small enough, and most upper middle class and rich people knew each other. And my Grams and his wife belonged to that group, and through filial association, my family, despite of modest income, are welcome to that group as well. Unlike the portrayals from the telenovelas, these rich people are one of the most down-to-earth people I've ever known. They don't wear flashy jewelry nor fancy clothes, but rather wear simple everyday clothes whenever they are up and about. Of course, going to parties is a different story. That's where they show up in their best attires. This story happened a couple of decades ago, and a few years before I hauled out to the big city. I was riding a motorized tricycle, something similar to the tuk-tuk but totally different. When suddenly the ride was hailed by a pimped-out father whose taste of jewelry almost rivaled that of Mr. T by half 4 decks of quarter-inch thick gold neck chains, 4 golden rings on each hand, a Rolex obviously fake, and to top the gaudiness of it all, a studded denim blazer. That entitled eyesore of a father demanded that I move to the back seat so that he could sit, him and his equally gaudy clothes son in the main passenger seat. Chill as I was, I obliged and moved to the back seat of the trike. Man oh man, I could definitely smell the funky combination of sweat and cheap cologne. Who in their right mind wears blazers in the middle of a tropical summer? All the while as we were traversing the road to our respective destination, we were both going to my Grams surplus shop, I couldn't help but overhear his overbearing dialogue with his son. "Son, from now on don't wear simple clothes like that drug addict bum is wearing. It would make you look poor." At first I didn't react since perhaps he was talking about someone else. I was wearing an off-white plain Gap basic t-shirt, Dickies chino cargo shorts and a pair of Nike sandals. In thickly accented and broken English, "You will go to the next school next year, so you could speak good English like me. Rich people like us speaking English. You know, if you don't speak good English, it means you're poor. You will become an engineer and be rich. Don't grow up to be that addict back there. Okay?" Now, having been matriculated from an internationally based Catholic school, we were taught to do the class act, so I just snickered and muttered to myself, "Being a foreigner doesn't make you rich, bro." At which the dude might have heard me and said in a dialect, I'd have to translate in English though, "That's why you're poor. You don't have ambition. I don't need to speak English with you because you might not understand it." I just kept to myself while bearing the brunt of his worthless tirades. Besides, in his own stupid way, he was just teaching his son about the merits of hard work. Thus, it is fine enough for me. We finally reached our destination, though I went to the side entrance as it led to the back store where my newly arrived from the States Sony Walkman was left there by my step-Grammy for me to pick up while the Kevin went through the main entrance. As it was a summer and I've got nothing to do anyway, I decided to help anyway at the store just to bide my time. So I went in and helped along when suddenly I was pulled aside by that funky Kevin who was ordered to carry a huge TV set for him and put it by the cash register. As a shop owner's grandson, I applied and then went back to my own merry way. A moment later, he was ordering a kid to carry a set of Pioneer component systems to the cashier, and another kid to carry a microwave oven, thinking that those kids were helpers as they were similarly clad as I was. He kept on parading them, even they politely refused and told him that they didn't work there. Finally, the store manager came to him and asked him what the problem was. and that Kevin told her to fire those lazy kids, meaning us, me and the other two kids whom I was acquainted with. The store owner grew pale a bit upon seeing us, but I subtly put my pointer finger on my lips. So she calmly told that piece of trash that we were customers there. She asked another helper to help him instead. While we kids were discussing whether we should go hiking to a mountain lake or we should go to the beach to hang out, the Kevin raised his voice a bit and told his son, "You see them, son? Those bums are jealous of us since we can't afford this big TV. Component sits in microwave." And as they were about to pay, he demanded that he be given a 15% discount as they were big spenders and personally knew the owner. At this point, I was really full of his nonsense. So I went to the counter and told the cashier not to give him a discount which was already on top of the discounted price and give them the full retail prices instead. He was seething mad and told me to F off since I was just a poor kid. I told him in English this time, "You know what, I'm not really impressed by those 14K gold-plated neck chains and fake Rolexes that you're wearing, along with your fake designer shoes and Fox Levi's. And I can definitely tell you that you really didn't know who the owner of this store was." He then answered, "And how about you? Do you know who the owner is? You're just a poor and worthless bum." At that point, the people who overheard our argument in the store, the cashier, the store manager, and the two kids and a couple regular customer pointed at me and said, "He's one of the owners here." Truth be told, I'm not really one of the owners, but rather just one of the grandkids who happens to be able to give discounts every now and then, but not too often. In the aftermath, I had the novel rich Kevin and his son escorted out from the store by an armed guard with a chambered shotgun and had a screenshot of his face from the CCTV printed as a reminder that he was permanently banned from the surplus store. The two kids also asked for 2 copies for them to bring along. Apparently, those two are kids of the owners of the department store and the grocery store. So yeah, somehow he managed to get banned from 3 stores at the same time. What a bum. Okay, so where to begin? I have been in a battle with my homeowners association for months. This whole mess started when I suspected a board member of receiving kickbacks on jobs. I and a few homeowners set up a sting operation. A family friend is a licensed contractor and put in a bid for work. The president invited him over, and during the conversation, the president bluntly said, "Any job approval requires a 10% overbid deposit if you want to work." He did record on his phone, but because we are in a 2-party consent state, it couldn't be used. We have sent numerous requests for financial records and have been stonewalled for months. The owner of the property management company is in on the scam as well. I and 5 other concerned homeowners have been stonewalled time and time again. We finally banded together, got a lawyer, and of course COVID hits and the courts are closed. So 3 weeks ago I had a major operation affecting my ability to walk. I am wheelchair bound temporarily. I submitted a request for an accommodation on a ramp I will pay for. These are individual houses and would have zero encumbered on any other homeowner in the community. The Homeowners Association of course denies the request, and the reason is, homeowner has not proven that they are disabled. A note from the surgeon was sent over, denied. Reason, the Homeowners Association called doctor's office and the doctor does not exist. The homeowner is making false claims. You can't make this nonsense up, right? So I say screw it and put the ramp up. The board member decides to buy brick pavers in front of the ramp with caution tape on it. And on top of it a note saying unapproved. Lawyer reached out to the board one last time before filing and accidentally got a reply meant for the other board members. I'm going to get him. He's lying and just trying to be an annoyance. Let's just keep denying the requests. We're the motherboard. We set the rules and what we say goes. Judge granted an injunction and trespassed my property. I sort of forgot about the whole thing. and the board has been leaving me alone. Until today, when two board members came banging on my door, telling me they are going to kill me. Thanks Ring for recording it all, yelling how they will make me permanently crippled. So, it turns out the community's insurance company refused to pay the legal bills. The two board members are on the hooks for almost $9,000 in legal fees plus $35 in punitive damages. My boyfriend and I play Zelda Breath of the Wild together. I'ma take your time and enjoy the ride kinda gal, while he's a let's look up how to beat this game right now kinda guy. Because his way ruins all the fun, we came up with a rule. No looking up spoilers. We were looking for a particular challenge. The Ace Heroine side quest for my fellow Zelda nerds for a very long time. Suddenly my boyfriend said, I did something bad. I looked up where to go. I'm so sorry, I just couldn't take it anymore. I told him it was fine but that he could not tell me what he had seen. And he agreed. I then excused myself to the bathroom and looked up the location as well. I then spent the next hour and a half wandering so close to the location without ever making it there. I could see him squirming around in his seat every time I got close. When I jumped off the cliff the statue was built into, gliding down to the base of the statue and continuing on without turning around to look at it, I thought he was going to explode. He was clenching his hair and posed fists and biting his lower lip trying to contain himself. That's when I caved and told him what I had done. He thought it was hilarious and told me about how he wanted more than anything to yell, "Turn around! What are you doing?" We had a good laugh about it and he hasn't looked up a spoiler since. The setup here is pretty simple. Some woman named Bella gave a dental office my phone number, which resulted in me getting hundreds of voicemails and text messages about her dental treatment. I assume she was pretty sure something. Multiple calls to the dental office did not seem to help the problem. I was told they would fix it at least a dozen times, but they never did. At the time, the call/text blocker on my phone wouldn't work right, and I didn't want to buy a new phone just to stop getting their texts and calls. One day in particular, after ignoring 4 calls before 8 AM from the clinic, I finally reached my breaking point. So when the 5th call came in, I answered. Hi. The dentist says, Hi, is this Bella? No, this is Bella's husband. Bella's currently unavailable. What can I do for you? I'm just calling to confirm her dentist appointment for X time. Oh, he can't make it. He's scheduled for a general reassignment surgery that day. I see. Would you like to reschedule? We'll call you once we figure out Bella's availability. The following year-ish was much of the same. Them calling or texting me to confirm appointments and me giving increasingly outrageous medical reasons for canceling. You'd figure the forced gender reassignment surgery to brain transplant or the 3rd circumcision might have given them the hint, but the calls and texts only seemed to grow more frequent, much to my joy. They did eventually figure it out and called me to chew me out. Hi, is Bill available? No, this is her husband speaking. What can I do for you? I know you aren't her husband. Who are you? How did you know I'm not Bella's husband? Bella says she isn't married. Who are you? Well, you called me. Who do you think I am? Why have you been canceling Bella's appointments? Why have you been calling me about Bella's appointments? This is Bella's phone number. You just called that number, right? Yes. Did Bella answer? No. So is this Bella's number? Silence. But why have you been canceling her appointments? Well, I figured I was doing her a favor. How so? You've been calling me for over 2 years now, despite my repeated and numerous requests that you stop. I figure that if you are so unprofessional that you can't even fix a single phone number in your system, she's probably better off with a different dentist. Oh, you think this is funny? Honestly, at first it was irritating, but now it's a highlight of my day. You've been screwing with somebody's health. You know that, right? That's illegal. You may want to stick to receptionist. You make a bad lawyer. What do you know about the law? Enough to know that the medical information you've been sending me about your client is a clear violation of HIPAA. Oh, so yeah, sorry, Bella can't make it to her dentist appointment next week. She's getting plastic surgery to have her fingers whipped. Funny enough, the call stopped after that. This story takes place about 10 years ago when I managed a store in my local mall that rhymes with Rains or Rifts, and it takes place around Christmas as all the good ones do. The mall was close to the ritzier town, so I was very used to entitled people, customers, and cops. Story for another time. The cast of characters. Me, exhausted retail manager. My exhausted retail worker. Karen, who puts her nose where it doesn't belong. And a nice mom who's just doing some shopping with her kid, about 8. To set the scene, my store was small. There were just enough passable areas to be ADA compliant without having much else room to move, much less to sneeze. There is a line and co-worker and I are switching off between ringing customers out and keeping an eye on people. In this type of store, theft was high, so we needed to stay vigilant. The nice mom and her daughter are about halfway in a line close to the back of the store adult novelties, but far enough away that it wasn't awkward. Karen comes into the store and sees a nice mom and a kid in line, and I swear we heard steam come out of Karen's ears. How dare you let your kid into the store? Where is the manager? I step in after working 2 12-hour shifts in a row on not enough sleep or caffeine. I'm the manager, what can I help you with? Karen looks me up and down and laughs. You're what, like 18? Run along and get your actual manager. I'm 22, but have always looked younger, sucked when I was trying to drink at 22, but is now great at 35. Now what can I help you with? Karen sighs and starts on her rant. How dare you let kids come into this store? This store is for adults only. You should be ashamed of yourself. She goes on, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep standing up. Now I should mention at this time that nice mother has not said a single thing. She basically just ignored Karen like she wasn't even there. Once Karen stops to take a breath, I politely let her know that we do not have a sign at the door saying parental guidance when in this store, but because we are in a mall, we are not allowed to card or anything. She does not appreciate that and then turns to the nice mother and makes it a point to tell her that she is a terrible mom for allowing her innocent child to be in such a disgusting store. Now is when the nice mom absolutely loses her mind. She starts telling this woman that it was none of her business how she raised her child, and she would much rather her child learned about life from her than from some other idiot child. She also says that Karen should mind her own damn business, and if this store offended her so much, then she should probably get out. The store got quiet. Everything stopped. My coworker looked like she was afraid to move. Karen just turns on her heel and storms out. The nice mom apologized to me and my coworker about losing her cool, and let us know that her daughter really liked our lanyard wall. I laughed at that and asked her if she wanted to organize it for me. There have been like 300 lanyards and a 3 feet by 2 feet horizontal display. And the daughter laughed. We wished each other a Merry Christmas and went on our ways. The nice mom to finish shopping, and me to get yelled at by another hurried last-minute shopper. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.